Hello everyone, welcome to today's race. This is week 13 in iRacing and the first week of the new tyre model for the GTPs, and oh boy, it has been fun relearning a lot of these cars. I've spent some time practicing, which is why I'm in the Cadillac today, but I want to now show you just how these tyres are going to change and evolve over the course of a race, as even on these short 15-minute sprints, you're going to see there's a big difference from start to finish. Now you're going to see just how difficult it is with a rolling start to get these tyres going. I am starting P1 here thanks to a good qualifying lap. I want you to look at the bottom left corner trace there as we're about to go. And you can see I just overdo how much power I'm trying to get going there in first gear. I should have really been in second, being a bit more gentle with it, but we've managed to get away with it because everyone else struggled just as we did. Now coming into turn 1, I need to brake as early as possible and then let off the brake, trying to use what little grip is available to keep us turning. But even with that, we are understeering so wide, but everyone else is behind us. And now through this first sector, I am just trying to really balance and be gentle on the throttle and the brake. I need to carefully manage what little grip is available on these cold tires, just so we're going to keep turning in the right direction. And through this long left-hand corner, being very patient on the power and not even getting to full power as the aero starts coming in, because these tyres are still just so skittish whilst they're cold. And through the degners, I have to brake early and get the nose pointed in because there is so much understeer. As you can see, they're going wide, but thankfully keeping it on track. And now coming up to the hairpin, I'm going to make a big mistake here, just braking too late, so we get a very slow slide. I'm able to save it, but that completely ruins our exit. I'm going to lose several positions here, first to that BMW and now the two Acuras coming past us. Really shows that you still have to really underdrive this car on the opening lap, so it's going to be a really important skill to learn, that you can still do that and race on this first lap if you want to win. Because even though the tyres will start warming up for the first 2 or 3 laps, these tyres are going to be very unforgiving, so being able to extract pace from them is going to be an important skill to learn. Now coming up to 140R, I'm actually going to be braking through here just to get the nose of the car turned in. Even if I was lifting on the first laps here, you were just completely going wide over the curbs. And braking into that final chicane, I couldn't even go full on the brakes there just because of how easy it would have been to lock them up. But we've managed to survive the first lap, so we'll take a quick look at what incidents happened behind us there. Starting with this yellow Ferrari coming down into turn 1, he's going to hit that inside curve, which is more than enough to send his car around on these cold tyres. Unfortunately, catching out another Cadillac, that just goes to show you have to even watch out for the curbing in some of these corners now. And this is what I was talking about with this BMW here, going full power through that long left-hand corner and losing the rear on the cold tyres. Thankfully, the sand is there to stop him, but that just goes to show you really have to be patient there. And this was our slow slide. You can see it's so minor there, but it's so easy to do it around a sharp corner like that. We rejoin onto lap 2 now, continuing on, and the tyres are going to be a little bit better now, a little less of understeer. You can still see there's a lot of it there, but I had to avoid that Acura in front, who was braking a bit earlier than what I am still. This stage, the tyres are starting to build that core temperature, which is what is important. So on this second lap here, the nose is starting to feel a little bit more responsive, but there is still a lot of understeer under these longer sustained turns, which you have to be wary of. But the rear is starting to grip up a lot more there. As you can see, I can get on the power, and now through the degners, I'm able to really get the nose turned in, but there's that understeer still, which you have to be mindful of. And now coming up to the hairpin for the second time, I'm going to brake a lot earlier this time after what happened on that first lap. And we just about nail it, and then make sure that steering wheel is nice and straight before I get full on the throttle here, because it's still going to be very easy to lose the rear with that extra power iRacing has given these cars. But now we're firmly behind the two Acuras, and the tyres getting into that point where I can start thinking about making a move, because I can see they are still trying to gain that confidence here, and they're having little slips and slides there, like that one in front of us just had on the exit. So if I can get a good exit myself, I might be able to make a move through 140R, which coming up now, I'm just going to have a little confidence break there as well as lifting. just because it's still not quite there. Very easy to run wide and go over that curbing, but the braking through the last chicane is much better now. I can really start using the brakes, which will help me as well, as the brakes will radiate that heat into the tires, helping to improve that core temperature, which is so important. Now onto this third lap now, and the car is almost where it should be. I can start really getting the nose turned in, and there is still the understeer, which is now going to be prevalent, especially on these fixed setups. But that is going to be something that we'll see how the setup shops will adjust for, as the cars are certainly much closer to the real life counterparts now, which I thoroughly enjoy myself, rather than the older, almost UFO like performance we had on those super grip tires, as the cars have a lot more characteristics to them now. And as you can see, that Acura goes wide in front of us through the Degners. Looks like they are still struggling here, and they're certainly a lot early on the brakes, which I'm going to keep in mind if an opportunity presents itself. We're going to get really up close beneath his wing there. I had to back off, which actually compromises my exit. Should have left a little bit more of a gap there, so I'm going to have to hope through this next double left-hander I can get close enough again here, because the main opportunity to overtake is still going to be after 140R into that last chicane here at Suzuka. I have to say, this track is even better now on these new tyres. As I say, the car's characteristics really come out on this sort of track, with these technical first sectors and then fast long straights. I do have a bit too much of a lift there, so I'm not going to be close enough this time around, but you can see that I can be so much better on the brakes than the cars in front of us, and I can get on the power much better now on this third lap, coming out of that chicane. Now onto lap 4. This is where the tyres are now fully up to their fighting temperature. If you weren't confident on the cold tyres, this will be where you can start looking to make your moves and to start moving up the pack if you can. But it is going to be a lot more difficult now, because with the reduction in the aero, these cars are a lot heavier and their characteristics are a lot more known. So you have to really think about how you're setting up and driving these cars in order to fully maximize your lap times and overtaking opportunities, which I think is absolutely fantastic compared to what they were before, where you relied more on the minutest of mistakes in order to get any sort of opportunity. So I'm hoping that this change on the tyres will provide some great racing opportunities, as you're hopefully seeing here, as I'm chasing these two Acuras ahead of us. I'm going to start sizing up my opportunities as we come very close once again to that Acura, who's still very early on the brakes, but thankfully I'm able to get a better exit this time, so I'm hopefully going to be much closer to them and get a better chance after 140R, because again, that is my main area to overtake around Suzuka. You have very little opportunities unless the car makes a mistake, but that is just the nature of the track, with such a technical, complex circuit layout, which still feels absolutely amazing on these cars. And now you see we are much closer than we have ever been, so this will be the prime opportunity, as long as I can stay up close in that downwash through 140R. And now I'm going to move to the inside to try and get past him, but I'm going to completely miss my braking marker. I'm struggle whilst I'm locking up to avoid that pink Acura. Thankfully I'm able to do so and rejoin safely there, but that was so close to ending both of our races. It was a daring move from me, but this is going to show you just that you have to still respect the brakes on these cars, as good as they may feel. As you make a mistake like that, it can be race ending, but thankfully, as you can see here, that pink Acura saw is coming and turned out in order to avoid a crash, which saved both of our races. Starting lap 7, we've caught back up to this light blue Cadillac in front of us that is just behind the two Acuras, and I'm going to start putting the pressure on him here, just to try and make him make a mistake, because I've seen him driving a bit squirrely here, overdriving, trying to catch up to the two Acuras himself. So I'm hoping I can put that pressure on and present an opportunity that I can then capitalize on, because it's still very difficult through this first sector at Suzuka here. I can just try and stay as close as possible through that downwash, as you do feel that a lot more now in the car, I feel, with a added bit of understeer, because the tyres are certainly working their best now here. Especially in the Cadillac, you have a great deal of confidence in just throwing the car into the corner. but you still have to respect it. As you can see that Cadillac behind us, he spins just like we did on lap 1 here, just braking it a bit too hard and then into the corner, which just sends the car around, but thankfully he's able to save it in time. And it just goes to show you have to really still respect the tyres even in these later stages of the race. But we're now going to focus on Drew ahead of us here, because I want to try and be as close as possible, as we're going to come out of 140R ahead. So I might be able to make a move without missing my braking markers this time, because I feel I can certainly get past him and start catching up to those Acuras on these closing laps. I have a big lift again, which was a bit too much, though I then suddenly find that Drew's braking early, so I see the opportunity, let off a little, and we're now down his inside to the outside through the chicane. We are side by side as I get the power down here. Not expecting that sort of move as I was so far back, but he just seemed to be braking so early there and then going deep. We did really well to give space to each other as we came onto the main straight, but you're going to see Drew start squeezing us to the inside, not wanting to let us open out that first corner. But that's not going to be a problem to me, because I feel a lot more confident in the brakes. So as we start braking here into turn 1, I'm able to get ahead and still get onto that second apex, which is crucial in turn 1. And now Drew is behind us, and it's his turn to start putting pressure on me as going through the first sector here at Suzuka. I do go a bit too deep on that right, which then compromises this left turn, but now I can get set up properly on this long right, because I need to get as close to the grass as possible to open up this long left. I don't quite maximize it here, and you're going to see that sends me wide as I try and get on the power, and Drew's going to catch up very quickly to us as we're coming towards the first Degner, so I just have to make sure I nail my braking and turning, and we're just ahead as he goes off behind us there. It looks like he missed his turning point, or just braked a bit too late. See, he got very close to us there. He had a bit of a look down the inside, but that then completely threw him off, and he missed his turn in there for the first Degner. Thankfully, the sand slowed him down enough so he didn't lose control of the car, but that was going to fall him back far enough away from us. But we ran out of time just to catch up to the 2 Acuras, so we're going to cross the line here in P4. Definitely not the best result considering I was on pole, but at least in week 13 your SR and IR are not affected. But regardless of all that, I still enjoyed the race, and I hope it has definitely been informative for you all here, just to show how much the new tyre model will change over the course of a race. So if you have enjoyed or at least learnt something from today's race video, please leave a like and subscribe, as that helps me on the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all as we kick off the new season in the GTPs.